It's still unclear if Joe Biden is going to ahead and jump into the race now. Some are actually saying that the vice president missed a really great chance last night by skipping that debate. I think he did. But what do you think? Is it too late for Biden to jump into this?
Absolutely not. First of all, it's not a coronation. Bernie Sanders is a serious opponent. I thought he was very gracious. That soundbite last night, agreeing with certainly most of the people that I talked to, that the email issue, while serious, has been overblown and now made into a partisan matter by the Benghazi committee. But I think Joe Biden is very qualified, very popular, and if he comes into the race, we'll have a better outcome because whoever is the nominee will be stronger because there's more competition.
Oh, speaking of being gracious, Lanny, you're being somewhat gracious now. It wasn't too long ago you were heard by a couple of reporters ranting about this particular election and allegedly calling Joe Biden a buffoon. Now, you said, you know,
thanks for asking me. Thanks for asking me because it didn't happen that way. I didn't rant. I was having a conversation that was a private conversation. Little snippets were taken out of context. I never called Joe Biden a buffoon. I was commenting on what others have said. I love Joe Biden, and the violation of being on a train early in the morning talking to your friends. Later in the day, the very same reporter that did that was talking in Fox in New York. I stood next to her with my telephone, and I held it up, making believe I was taping her. She got very startled and riled and said, "What are you doing?"
Right.
And I tapped the phone, and I said, "Well, you said it was customary. I just did the same thing." Of course, I then said, "I'm only kidding. I would never do such a thing."
There was a guy who also said that he heard you as a Fox News
there were
contributor.
two of them.
Right, Guy Benson.
And I haven't talked to a single reporter who's called me about this incident. By the way, I considered it sort of funny. The things that were taken out of context were not terribly awful, but every single reporter I've talked to, including somebody who's a major here at Fox about 10 minutes ago, said they would never, ever think of doing that. It's a violation, nor would their editors, nor would anybody at Fox
doing
ever
what? Taking a private conversation on a train and sharing it with the world, or twisting your words? So in other words, are you admitting that perhaps you said something that you didn't want to say and it was overheard and it shouldn't have been used?
I can't believe we're actually talking about this. Listen,
topic. We're talking about you're a very influential Democrat, and if you think Joe Biden is a buffoon, it's pretty compelling to me.
Well, I just addressed that. I did not call Joe Biden a buffoon. I'm saying both, that it is a violation that most journalists would never do, is to surreptitiously listen in on a conversation that's a private conversation. Secondly, what I did say and what was quoted were out of context. I certainly did not intend to offend anybody in a private conversation. But having said that, I consider it a rather amusing incident, and it's amazing how viral these sorts of things get. It's almost like prurient interest. But what I read wasn't terrible. I certainly did not call Joe Biden a buffoon, nor did I call Bernie Sanders a name. We were talking about politics and about people's perceptions, and it was all taken out of context.
Are you
Thanks for asking me about it, Joe.
No, it's out there. To your point, it's gone viral, and people keep hearing it. And you probably, it's one of these things that maybe it becomes urban myth and it lasts for decades. But the point, I guess, now is more important.
Don't you think it's a compliment that I have a private conversation that so many people are interested in?
You should take it as a compliment. You really should. I'm not sure Joe Biden should, but you should. But let's move on.
Joe Biden knows how close the friendships we've had since he was elected in the 70s. I've known Joe Biden, and he absolutely doesn't
real quick
take
before,
that
because
seriously.
I want to switch.